In today's episode, we're going to start with the 3 most common sanders that you'll be tempted to buy. Should you buy one? Well, heck yeah.
Doing it with Jason.
Well, hello guys, and welcome back to Doing It with Jason's Woodworking for Beginners. Now that is fancy. Okay, so you're looking to buy a sander, you go to the big box stores, and there's sanders everywhere. I mean, look at these. All those sanders. Which one to buy? It's very complicated. Totally is, I totally understand. Back 12 years ago when I just started out, maybe it was 14 years ago, I lose track of time. That's what happens when you get older. These sanders, I had no idea what to buy. Okay, first we're gonna talk about the belt sander. This right here takes off a lot of material at a time. That is a great thing. It's also a very bad thing. These things can just ruin a project in 2 seconds. You do need practice using them. They work in certain situations, but if you're into like fine furniture making or just refinishing certain furniture, I wouldn't necessarily suggest this thing unless that furniture piece was in a fire and it's just about long gone and you need to get years and years of off of it. This might come in handy. Second on the list is the quarter sheet Orbital Sander. That took a while to say. Now, these things are not on my list either of highly things to be sought after for the sanding market, but I do have one. I've used it a few times. I've used it and you can see it just melts the pad and everything. Anyhow, they also call these Orbital Sanders. The problem is the orbit is very minor and it's just non-stop one perfect circle. Therefore, if you just leave it sitting in one spot, you will get those little circles when you stain the project after you finish sanding that everyone hates. It's great for corners. Like if you have a corner inside of a door, like here, this will sand into there, yes. For a whole project, a piece of furniture, a whole woodworking job, no. This old bad boy doesn't cost much. It also doesn't do much. Another problem with these, this video is turning into nothing but problems, is that they're not very aggressive. You can sit here all day long and just sand and sand and sand and nothing happens. You'll be using the sander for hours and hours on end. Like, bzzz, yep. And finally, the random orbital sander. My favorite, the best sander you could buy, especially for the money, especially for your first sander, this would be the one I'd take on a date. Now by random orbital sander, what I mean is it orbits, like so, but in a random fashion. So therefore, it's not making perfect circles. It's making circle, and then it moves a little bit of an orbit, and it circles again, and then it moves another little orbit and circles. So if you can imagine, it's kind of just like a clock with a whole bunch of clocks inside the clock. So it's very random, but no buts, that's a great thing. So what happens is you can leave it in one place, which I don't recommend any time you're sanding something, but if you do, and you lift it up, and then you stain it, you have a whole bunch of little bitty hooks, depending on how you're doing it, versus the big hooks that this bad boy brings. Don't want those. And there's ways to get rid of the hooks, and I will show you that in future videos for sure. And not necessarily it's even gonna give you hooks, it all depends on what grit. So much information. Overload. So the random orbital sander is gonna be your #1 choice of what you're gonna buy as your first sander, hands down. There's so many different models. I don't suggest a certain one, although at the end of this video I do suggest one really good sander, but it's quite expensive, but it's worth a look if you want to stick around till the end. I'll have it linked up at the end of this video. Perfect for fine finishing, perfect for getting rid of material pretty quickly, perfect for holding, perfect for contours, just plain old perfect. These sanders are fantastic. You can get them pretty much everywhere, but if you're just starting out, I highly suggest that you go to Harbor Freight, maybe buy one there. Very inexpensive, coupons all the time. If you don't know what Harbor Freight is, definitely Google that one. I highly recommend if you do not have a random orbital sander, that should be your first sander on your list. Whether you're refinishing furniture, whether you got a brand new project started and you just need to sand the wood, this is a sander you're gonna choose. I will absolutely be showing you more about the random orbital sander in videos to come. And be sure, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications. That way every time a new video comes, you will be notified, you will get it in your inbox, and you'll come watch it. That'd be awesome. Let me know if you have any questions down below as always. I'm Jason with Doing It with Jason. We'll see you next time.